Let's put all of these things together and create a program, and that would be a program to calculate miles per gallon. So let's go ahead and open the Python shell, and then I'm going to open a new file, and right away I'm going to save that and call it mpg.py. All right, so our program needs puts miles traveled. And to start with, let's just throw in some numbers. Gallons used, I guess we need two inputs and an output. Gallons used is 12.7. And then we need to calculate. So mpg is equal to miles divided by gallons. And then we can print out our result. And there's my miles, my initial miles per gallon program. So let's test that and see what happens. And notice a couple of things. One of the first ones is that I went ahead and put an integer and a floating point number. What happens if I change this to 12, which is an integer? Because my output was a floating point number, and in Java, if I divide an integer by an integer, then it's going to automatically truncate my decimal places. So let me rerun this. Let's use a number I'm pretty sure won't go evenly into 500. So I changed gallons to 13, and let's run it again. Notice that even though I divided an integer with an integer, I got what you would intuitively expect, which is a floating point number. So you don't have to worry a lot about casting and turning your integers into floats just so that you can do the division that you expect to do. Now I'd like to expand this program because it's not very useful at this point, since it only works once and then you have to change the miles and the gallons. So let's create an input statement for this. And what I want to do is, first of all, print a prompt. So print enter miles traveled. And then we'll say that miles is equal to input. And the good news is that in dealing with Python, we can do this much right here, and that will get us a number from the user. So instead of having to create a stream reader or a J option pane, we can just say variable is equal to input, up and close parentheses, and it's going to ask the user to enter a number. Now at this point we're not checking for errors, like they could enter text and it will break, and we're not really checking for that. That'll be another day's problem. So let's print enter gallons used, and then we're going to say gallons is equal to input. I'm going to get rid of this line. And let's see what happens. So first I'm going to save it. Enter miles traveled. So we traveled 500 miles. We used 13 gallons. Uh-oh, we have an error. What did I do wrong? So notice it says unsupported operand types for str and str. And it also gives me a line number. It says that the error happened in line 5. And line 5 is shown here. mpg equals miles divided by gallons. What it's telling me is that miles and gallons are actually string variables. So now we have a problem, which is how do we convert this, which is a string because it came from the keyboard, into a number. So how do we convert miles and gallons, which are strings, into number? And in this case, I think we probably need to convert them into floating point numbers. The answer is we can surround our input, I think, with the float function. Let's try this. And let's run it again. Miles traveled. And the answer is 38.4615, etc. So basically, this float function takes a string and converts it into a floating point number, and then the string is coming from our input function, which takes text from the user and brings it back as a string.